Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. Hello, art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. It's me again, Miss Sam. And I am back with yet another video. Today, what are we gonna do today? Today, we're gonna have some coffee. We're specifically Turkish coffee. I don't know why, but I found this beautiful picture on the internet, and Turkish coffee happens to be one of my favorites. So, there, behold, this is what it's supposed to look like, and the taste. If you've never had Turkish coffee, if it's done right, it's so good that it'll bring tears to your eyes. That's the power of a good cup of Turkish coffee. So there it is. That's going to be in my community post announcing this video for you. So you guys, we have a lot to discuss. Well, a one-sided discussion. It's just me talking, but I'm going to be replying to your comments in the last 6 videos that I've done about The Shining. Okay, so there's going to be coffee break, viewer mail, Shining edition. So let's get into it. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm not going to waste any time at all. We have way too much to discuss. I hope you saw my latest video here. Not a lot of views, obviously. But if you are an artist, consider this. Okay, it's free. There's no catch. I'm not trying to pull a fast one. I just want to help. And if you're interested, let me know. All the information is there. All the information is on my Substack. Check it out. So that's that. Let me get into the church announcements. Fire up the percolator, or the ibrik, as the Turkish coffee pot is called. And let's get into it. So, returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, all 819 of you, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate every single last one of you so much. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video or any of my videos if you know anybody who might be interested in this. And that's that. Now let's get on into it. Again, we're going to do coffee break, viewer mail edition, the Shining edition, and especially with, concentrating on what I've been working on for about the past month, seeing whether or not what Stanley was doing in The Shining was really to talk about the Manhattan Project. Maybe he wasn't even trying to tell a story about the Manhattan Project. He just wanted you to know about it and point you towards doing your own research. I don't know. But here we go. This is the first video I'm going to do. The comments, reply to the comments. So here we are, Oppenheimer, the Manhattan Project, and The Shining, coffee break, viewer mail. So the last one, right? And you guys had, it's only 170 views, but you guys had plenty to say. And this is in order of newest to oldest. So let's get on into these oldest ones. Guillermo Ibanez Gomez 3031 says, I was just brewing coffee. Perfect. Well, I hope you're brewing some coffee now. I hope you got that percolator or your espresso maker or your Turkish coffee pot going. So, it's time. It's time, Guillermo. It's time. Need to Know says, that's what I like about what you do. You keep your promises. Thanks, Need to Know. I'm glad to continue this discussion. I'm an obsessive, obviously. When I bite into something, I'm like, when what dog is it that when they bite they don't let go? I'm that dog. Well, actually, I was talking with Gershom, hello Gershom, you put your coffee emoji. I was telling Gershom, oh no, I'm not going to say that here because I don't want you to know. But there is a specific dog we were talking about, and I'm very much like that dog. Stubborn, excitable, nosy as hell. Gershom knows. Keep it to yourself, Gershom. But you, we talked about this recently on the Instagram DMs. And here's, Richland Law. Hello, Richland Law. He says, okay, Divine Miss M. Aw, thanks. Uh, have you ever seen those group pictures that they take, like all of the engineers at NASA or all the scientists in Project Paperclip, all lined up like that, row by row by row, all in concentric or a nice arrangement, all looking at the camera with a lot of intensity. I think I know what you're getting at here. As you were discussing the Manhattan Project, it occurred to me that the last scene in the movie reminded me of those group shots of scientists. Interesting. I wouldn't be surprised. But then, Richland Law continues, but then that got me thinking, we've got Jack Nicholson in the middle of this group. Why would a caretaker be given a position of honor and power by being the central figure in the picture? Maybe in his prior life he had a different position. Or perhaps he was so overwhelmingly charismatic in his prior lifetime as a hotel employee that he became synonymous with the Overlook experience. The way that the help is depicted in these movies, it doesn't seem like Jack was just the help in 1921. No, it doesn't. No, they address him with respect. They call him Mr. Torrance. And you're right. You're absolutely right, Richland Law. When he's walking through the gold room the second time, the first time is just him and Lloyd. The second time is the big party. He's wearing his regular, like, Jack Torrance clothes, but they're treating him like he's wearing a tuxedo. Okay, it doesn't seem like Jack was just a help, and no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't seem like he was just a help. Or maybe it's a form of relativity, like when you go into his subconscious mind, he's at the center of the picture, but if we would have looked at it from the point of view of someone else's mind, he was not the center. He was just a caretaker on the side somewhere. So therefore, we're delving into his subjectivity when we see the picture. This is a lot, Richland lot, but I know what you're getting at. The 1921 photo is the enigma of this whole movie, you guys. And it's the mystery that needs to be solved. I believe that I might be getting close to solving it. This is not me bragging. This is me struggling. Okay? Because with all of this stuff and some of the comments that I've gotten lately, just whatever. Some of them got censored out. YouTube just filtered them out and you didn't see them. But some of them got through, and that's fine. But, I don't think, I don't know whether or not I'm right. I just don't. But again, this is not about necessarily being right. This is about trying. This is about trying and learning. And I always say if I'm right, because I always leave that possibility. I could be wrong. And now Richland Law is talking about the 1921 photo. And he's talking about Jack's position. Like, why the hell would he be like the center, front and center of that photo if he was just a caretaker? If he was just like a whatever, he's not the manager. He's not Stuart Ullman. He's not even Halloran. Halloran has an official title. He's the head chef. That's a lot, being the head chef of a place like that with a kitchen that big. Yeah. But you mentioned the word relativity right here. Maybe it's a form of relativity. I've been, which makes me think of Albert Einstein, Richland Law. That's another video for another time, but trust and believe I'm working on it. That photo, there's some stuff going on with that photo. There's some stuff going on with that photo. 1921 is connected to, if I'm right about this, one of the main things or major things, if I'm right about Stanley, one of the major things he's trying to do is let us know about the Manhattan Project. By way of symbolism or whatever through the Shining movie. 1921 is an extremely important year to the Manhattan Project. Okay? And I just gave you a little clue, but I'll save it for the next video. Richland Law, in a reply here, he says, I'm convinced we can all drink coffee and watch Strange Love together and then talk about it or text about it and make an evening of it Saturday night or nest. You know what? I don't know how I would really get that done because my schedule is so weird. Ay, ay, ay. I might as well be a member of the Addams family. The hours that I keep, so I don't know how I'm gonna do that but one day I would like to. One day, yes, I would. So that's a good suggestion too, Richland Law. Here we go with this one, Jonathan Swift 2251. Oh shit. Okay. Um, I don't even know if I should address this comment. Let me not. Okay, but you could see it. Gershom says, Danny says, Mom, when the tennis ball rolls to him. Pinch your nose and say it, Mom. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean, Gershom. Possibly. Possibly. I gotta work on that. Um, there's a lot going on. Obviously, there's a lot going on. Let me roll on to this comment from the wonderful Richard Tankard of Tales, who says, odd, in The Shining, the tennis ball is pink or yellow. The color changes as well as the car based on which version the movie is in. I wonder if there's a reason for this. Richland Law replies, pretty sure that is an artifact of transfer of the movie to digital, various versions, etc. Tankard replies to Richland Law, pink to yellow seemed strange. I'm not sure about the process, and I doubt somebody is doing that to confuse the viewers. Anno, hello Anno. Anno Domini says, in the DVD the ball is yellow, but in the Blu-ray it changes to pink. That's interesting. Tankard replies to Anno, I own the pink copy, and Richland Law says Cube is probably rolling over in his grave. And so is his protege, the film work of Vitali, who I believe was responsible for supervising transfers that were made various times. Don't forget, we have had multiple digital transfers over the years, and not all of those transfers were good. Just like not all of the things that happen in the Overlook Hotel. Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh my God, that's Richland Law is quoting. If you didn't know, Richland Law is quoting Halloran when Danny asks him, "Mr. Halloran, is there something bad at this hotel?" And that's more or less exactly what Halloran says to Danny. Not all of the things that happened at the Overlook Hotel were good. That was good. That was very good. I don't think, Richland Law continues, I don't think they would have been happy with different color transfers, resulting in different interpretations of the movie. We had the video disc, and then we had the DVD, and then maybe a high-quality Blu-ray. Having seen the film in the theater in its first release and been a nut about it ever since, you and me, Richland Law, I don't know why this movie has cast a spell on me. But anyway, Richland Law says, my perception has been that the tennis ball does not change color. It is just a tennis ball. This is not an easy question to answer or think about. Because it might just be a matter of the transfers. And film is very funny and very finicky. And transferring it into a digital medium, like a Blu-ray or whatever they got going on now. That might be it. And I don't know if Stanley intended for there to be two different colors of the ball and different qualities or whatever of the film. I don't know. That's I'll just leave that up in the air. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe the ball, maybe it's not so much important what color the ball is, but maybe it's part of the process that I was talking about that I believe is going on in room 237, if it comes from room 237. maybe it's just like an electron, like escaping from, uranium being processed in the nuclear reactor that is room 237. Maybe that's the end of it. I don't know. I don't know. Tankard replies to Richland Law. I've seen both tracks played side by side. The ball is pink, and so is the toy cars. Everything the same except the color. Maybe the pink was used to darken the blood. Maybe. Based on what I know, Taxi Driver was going to get an X rating, but all they done was change the tint of the blood. Really? That's all it takes to change the rating of a movie? Just to change the color of something? Ay, ay, ay. I did not know that. Wow. I learned so much from you guys. Thank you both, Richland Law and Anno and Tankard, for these comments. They're actually quite interesting. These little teensy weensy little things, they might not mean anything, but they might also mean a lot. Who knows? Tankard up here says, very interesting that the sixth sense is our ability to think. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. But he says, it makes sense, LOL. Is that a pun? Yeah, I guess so, huh? It's a play on words, for sure. I believe that thinking is the sixth sense, and we all have it. We're all basically psychic. Or we all have, like, the powers of our minds are probably so strong that not like most of us, or none of us, have any idea like what we could do with our mind if we just knew how, or if we had a little bit more free time and a little bit of like good guidance from somebody. Our minds are powerful. Our minds are powerful. And people, like, hate themselves. They go through their lives hating themselves, thinking that they're dumb or whatever, maybe because they didn't get the best education at the most expensive, most prestigious private schools and Ivy League universities and whatever. And you think, no, that's not it. That's not it. There are definitely things present in our society, in our world, that are there, I believe, for the specific purpose of dumbing us all down. Yes, absolutely. Food, media, you name it. But I believe your brain can still transcend all of those things if you only. It's not a matter of ability. We all have the ability. It's a matter of desire. You have to want to. So yeah, I believe thinking is the sixth sense for sure. Thank you, Richard, for the comment. And Richard says, thanks for these videos. I do enjoy them. I enjoy your guys' comments. Of course, I enjoy making the videos because I'm showing you my thought process. It's not scripted. It's not nice, tight, clean, neat, tidy, succinct. No, it's a mess. It's basically you're watching and or listening to me verbally kind of just talk through, like if you were looking at somebody's notes, like I just sent Tankard on Twitter, X, whatever, in the DMs. I just took a photo of my notes for my eyebrow essay that I'm doing, and I said, okay, this is what I got so far, and then I sent him like my first draft, and he seems to like it. Thank you, Tankard. But these videos are just me talking my notes. This is not a finished thing. No, this is a mess. And maybe that's like, a mess is a lot more fun than something perfect and neat and clean, and you feel bad about touching it because you don't want to mess it up. No, like, play in the mud, play in the dirt, play, when I was a kid, that's what I did. I would just go digging up rocks and stuff when I was a little girl. I loved it. I pretended I was like an archaeologist or something when I was a little girl. Just loved digging stuff up and just, how kids are. You give them toys and they don't care about the toys. They'd rather go outside and just like, run around and play with rocks and whatever. That was me. That was me climbing trees. Yep, that too. Lots of skin knees. Ooh, one time it took the skin clear off my knee. I still have a scar. But anyway, Anno, always enjoy these viewer mail videos. Thank you, Anno. So here you go. Here's another one for you. I hope you enjoyed this one too. Stephen, 1853. 1 hour 15 minutes and 5 seconds to 1 hour 16 minutes and 40 seconds. Says, so true. I wish I could remember exactly what he's referring to, but in those roughly 2 minutes of the video, but whatevs. So true. We are bombarded with distractions and other noise to dull our senses and hide the truth. E.g., God Save the Queen, the fascist regime, they made you a moron, potential H-bomb. Yeah, been listening to the Sex Pistols. That song, though. That song is really quite something. John Lydon, at the time he was called Johnny Rotten, uh, you know, I don't know, but I think he's the one who wrote those lyrics. They're very insightful. They're really, really profound, Stevem. And Stevem, if you're into, like, if you, like me, you just kind of absorb whatever it is a song is trying to do. I've put it in my community post, "Kindergarten" by Faith No More. I've been listening to that, like, maybe not every day, but a couple times a week. I've been listening to that song for the past, I don't know, month or so. Each and every time the song, I learned something a little bit different from it, and I think that's what you're doing with God Save the Queen. Um, Made you a moron, potential H-bomb. That's interesting, because we're talking about the Manhattan Project and all these scientists. And a lot of the scientists who work on the atomic bomb worked on the H-bomb too. So, potential H-bomb. Interesting. There was definitely a strange love going, Stephen continues, there was definitely a strange love going on after World War II, not only in Operation Paperclip, but in the intel side as well. Uh-huh. Yep. That's right, Stephen. And that's what I think. I've only done the first 5 minutes of Full Metal Jacket, and I think that's the direction. You're very, very astute in that observation. I think that's the direction Stanley's taken us in Full Metal Jacket. He's referencing the Manhattan Project and the atomic bomb with, like, Animal Mother's helmet, Destroyer of Worlds, but I think you're right. It's about intel. I already made a little video about it. Where's the thing? Where's the thing? Kubrick's War. Yeah, what? Yeah, check this one out. I talk about it a little bit. There was definitely. I was going to comment on an earlier video that I think artwork from the Eagles album Hotel California was inspired by the picture of the July 4th. But, well, now I got to take a look. Thank you. Very appropriate. Thanks for another great video. Enjoyed it, Steve M. Steve M. P.S. I'm playing catch up watching your vids. Been busy with work stuff. Oh, no, don't worry about that. You watch them whenever you have free time, whenever you want to, you know. I go through a lot. And again, I don't know whether or not I'm right. Of course, I like to think I'm right, but I know that I might not be. So thank you for the comments, Steve. I always appreciate it. Okay, Mr. Enemy. Or Mr. Me. Uh-huh. Yeah. New York Yankees 81. In the television show Simon Templar, Season 1, Episode 3, there is a close-up of a cordless TV. Interesting. Gonna have to maybe look that up if I don't forget. Dave Gentry, PU9XM, you are very thoughtful to do these viewer mail videos, Miss M. Thank you. I love it, Dave Gentry. I love it so much. It's fun for me. This is because it gives me a chance to think about my favorite subject through your guys' comments. And it gives me a chance to, like, listen, I don't like when a lot of people who, I'm not going to name names, but a lot of people who've done Shining analysis videos or articles or essays or whatever, they just don't acknowledge that they get their ideas from a lot of different places. And usually when you comment on a video on YouTube, especially if it's one with a lot of views and a lot of comments, your comments get, like, you know, you comment, but, like, you don't think that anybody's going to see it or read it or think about it. I'm trying to make you feel like your contribution is important, because it is. It is to me, because thanks to some of the stuff that you guys have said, that has sent me on a research, tack where I have discovered all kinds of stuff just because of comments that I've read here. So I want to give you guys your credit. Okay, I want to give credit where credit is due. Okay, so that's it for this one. Next video, top 15 moments from The Shining and what they really mean. 32 comments. Let's get into it. Oh gosh. Okay, let's see. A lot of short comments, but a lot of long ones too. Gershom, a coffee cup surrounded by flames. Oh my. Thank you, Gershom. Here's another Gershom. Jack in the chair seems to have electrodes in his temples and the lights behind him are lit. He looks shocked. Possibly. Especially like what me and Gershom have been discussing in the DMs on Instagram. That might be a possibility. And like he knows why. I haven't told you all yet. But I've been reading a lot of stuff about Mr. Oppenheimer. Okay. Let me just, mm-mm, 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 no, no, no. After the stuff I've read about this dude, Oppenheimer, I don't know what possessed Leslie Groves to make him the director of the Los Alamos lab for the Manhattan Project. I don't know what Leslie Groves was thinking, unless he was trying to pick somebody who was not just incompetent, but other stuff. And I'll get into it in my video where I get into it later in the future. But yeah, Gershom, you bring up a good point. Yeah. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it in a future video. Thank you for saying it, Gershom. Andromedwa says, could the circular lights represent particle accelerators? Possibly. There's a couple of different possibilities. The floor indicators above the lifts also remind me of bows and arrows. Yeah, they do. That is an incredibly good observation, Andromedwa. They do have that look to them because the dial, there's an arrow and then there's a half arc, like the half circle. That looks very much like a bow. Okay. Now, Colorado and the West in general went from bows and arrows being the most potent weapon to nuclear bombs in just over 100 years. Kind of insane. Yep. That is something to think about. Oof, there's like so much going on here that I haven't even thought of. But you guys, you're seeing some stuff too. You guys are seeing some stuff too, and that is awesome. That is really awesome. Gershom. Oh, look at this. Okay, he put the avocado emojis, which I think I know where he's going with this already, because I know a little bit about avocado. But the origin of avocado can be traced back to Brazil, and a drink made of avocado, abacate. The Dutch brought it back to the Netherlands and called it advocaat, replacing avocado with egg. You put a little chick there. How cute. Advocaat is Dutch for lawyer. Avocados are a familiar yellow-green color. They have a similar structure to eggs. And was Stanley calling this structure, this color, this allusion to the legal Oh. Okay, wait a minute. Let me read that again. And was Stanley calling this structure, this color, this allusion to the legal process to our attention with this simple spill of a cocktail on Jack's jacket? Gershom? I don't know, like, this is 2 weeks ago, so maybe that's why I don't remember it very well. My brain has been swimming lately. But I've known about avocado being this Dutch, like, runny pudding, like boozy runny pudding drink. And the Dutch were trying to imitate the texture or whatever of avocados, which, like very ripe ones, do have like a yellowish color when you cut into them. I'm from California. We eat a lot of avocados here. And But, and I knew about, like, the Dutch were trying to recreate the texture of like this avocado thing, as you say, from Brazil. And they named it avocado, and advocaat, ADVOCAAT, is Dutch for lawyer. Oh, and you're saying that, if I'm interpreting this correctly, Gershom is saying that Stanley is trying to draw our attention to something to do with the law and lawyers. Okay, the legal process. In the context, if I'm right about the Manhattan Project thing, what might that be? Like, what kind of laws are in place that make the stuff like secret stuff like the Manhattan Project possible? There are laws in place. I mentioned one in this video. Where is it? Kubrick's War. What is the overall message in Stanley Kubrick's movies? I think he was obsessed with war, but like this top secret stuff, there's legal stuff going on that I would never know about because I'm not a lawyer. I didn't go to law school. But like you said, the allusion to the legal process, to our attention with this simple spill of a cocktail on Jack's jacket. Okay, who spills it on him? Grady. Ooh, I gotta think about this one. And it happens to be yellow. Okay, you say yellow-green. Like uranium. Oh my God, that color. Because we haven't seen Jack. Oh my God, Gershom. I gotta think about this one. I can't just do this right now. No, I gotta turn this over in my head. The grilled cheese sandwich. I gotta make one. But oof. Have we seen Jack wearing yellow ever in the movie? He wears dark blue jeans. He wears that burgundy jacket. He wears green. He wears brown. Blue, green, brown, red. He does like wear those Timberland things, so I guess those are yellow. But like the yellow is not the color we associate with Jack. We see Wendy wearing that yellow jacket. Oh Lord, wait a minute. I can't do this right now, even though I really want to. I want to drop everything and just think about this. But there's like one of my favorite YouTubers, by the way, if you want like a little joke, Alexander Rogers, and he reviews all the housewives shows and all the trash, all the reality TV. And you know how these women in these shows, like housewives, whichever one it is, Beverly Hills, Orange County, New York, Atlanta, any Utah or Salt Lake City. And these women, they get into these arguments. And in a lot of these arguments, they'll just like douse each other with glasses of wine. And, and when it happens, Alexander Rogers, he says, baptism. And so it's the cutest thing ever. Oh, he's got an amazing sense of humor, this guy. And that's what I was thinking when I was thinking about the Grady spilling avocado on Jack's seat. Baptism. But what you're saying, Gershom, this is interesting. This is interesting. Avocado, the liquor, the alcoholic beverage from the Netherlands, is a product of colonialism. And the Dutch, whatever, which it was, East West India Company, I don't know, but that it's a product of them bringing imported goods back. Like, avocado is one of them. Like citrus fruits or another. Citrus fruits don't grow in Holland; they grow in Spain. Like Valencia oranges and stuff like that. They don't have oranges in Northern Europe. It's too cold. So like if you were somebody living in the Northern Europe, like the Netherlands, or at the time Flanders or whatever, and you had access to citrus fruit, that meant you were doing quite well for yourself financially. Okay. And that's what, like I said, pronk, ontbijtje, in the food videos and the food art still lifes with food from that time period from Northern Europe. If you see lemon, mm-hmm, they got it like that. They sure do. But anyway, I gotta think about this, Gershom. I gotta set this aside and think about it. But thank you so much. Gershom also says Oppenheimer's father is also Julius. Their initials are JSO and JRO. Maybe JS was the first caretaker and then JR inherited his station. Possibly. I am thinking there's something going on along those lines because, again, I'll show you in future videos. But Oppenheimer, I know everybody thinks he was this gigantic genius. But why? Richard Feynman, I mentioned him in a recent video. Richard Feynman has thrown shade at Oppenheimer in interviews or statements in the past. And I'll show you that. I found the articles, the quotes, everything. He's thrown shade at Oppenheimer's intellectual capabilities. For some reason, Richard Feynman worked on the Manhattan Project, yes. But for some reason, Richard Feynman felt comfortable saying that to a room full of physicists who all laughed when he said it. He threw shade at, which, if you don't know what throwing shade is, that means subtly insulting somebody in a way where it's almost or either undetectable or almost undetectable. That's what throwing shade is. I'm just saying. Let me just put it this way, regarding Gershom's comment here. I agree with you, Gershom. His father, Julius Sr., Oppenheimer wouldn't have been where he got to if it weren't for his father. Now, let me give you this challenge, Gershom. If you have any free time, try and find any information about Oppenheimer's father, JS. Okay? Try finding any information about Oppenheimer Sr. I double ding dong diddly dare you. I tried. Didn't find much. And I had to dig. But all that digging, couldn't find much. So let me know if you try and if you find anything. Jennifer Phillips, BU5FD, says listening at work helps me get through my day. Excited about this one. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate it so much. That makes my heart smile that I'm helping people get through their day. I listen to, when I have free time, I just play Minesweeper and listen to my favorite comedy videos to help clear my head. That's what I do. And I listen to music. I work out and I listen to a lot of music. A lot of stuff on repeat, like Faith No More and Linkin Park. And lately, the Sisters of Mercy. Love them. And Megadeth, too, lately. Oh my God, I'm going to have to post some of those. Love Megadeth. But thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm so happy that I could help you at least a little bit get through your day. Guillermo. Hello, Guillermo Ibanez Gomez 3031. I'm always down for some shining content. Thank you so much, Guillermo. Here comes Gershom again. The shadows of the balusters in the bare stairwell resemble the stripes of the wallpaper and the vertical slats of the radiators in room 237. I gotta take a better look at that. I'm gonna eventually with my Understanding the Shining series, but I was actually looking at that scene lately, and Richard did a video about it. Go check it out. Go to Richard's channel, Tankard of Tales, and check out the video he did about the room number of the room close to that room where the guy in the bear costume and the guy in the tuxedo. That whole hallway in front of that room where those two were doing whatever, weird. And Richard points out there's a room number that is easily visible. Well, maybe not easily, but it's there. Okay, so check out Richard's video about that. And again, what is going on? It's not. This is not easy to figure out. That's why it's going to take all of us working together. Gershom. Maybe Great Party Man's head is the atom. You think? I'm not being sarcastic. Like, really? Oh, shit. Somebody tried to split his head open? Oh, like the atom? Who split the atom? I'm not a chemistry person, so I'm going to have to look that up. But, and then you put a thunderbolt. And again, is it Zeus? Is it Thor? Is it the other storm god that I won't mention? But, remember? Hello. David Bowie, Aladdin Sane cover, album cover. Is it all the same? Are they all referencing the same like visual vocabulary? My God. My good God in heaven. Whew. Okay. Gershom again says, when Jack climbs the stairs, he has his right hand up and left hand down like Baphomet, like in the final photo. Ooh, I'm going to have to research that. I've already found some stuff, but I'm going to have to like really dig my heels in. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I find. Thank you again for the comment, Gershom. Need to Know says, thank you for quoting me on a couple of videos now. It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for commenting. It means a great deal to me. And I don't mind there being a shining channel. I mean, effectively, that's what my channel is becoming. I'm still going to do like my videos about stuff that interests me in the art world. I want to get back into the crime. I want, like they say in Full Metal Jacket, I want to get in the shit. I really do. But gosh, I wish there were more hours in a day. I really do. Thank you for your comment. Need to Know. Richland Law. Ooh, the emojis. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Fireworks, axes, laughing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it do be like that, don't it? But here we go. Need to Know says, hey, you mentioned that there's no tank on the toilet in room 237. Nope. But there are tanks. But are there tanks on any toilets in the Overlook? Well, okay. So you already looked into it. So you go on to say Need to Know says the bathroom with Grady had toilets missing tanks as well. Right. But I believe the Torrance's bathroom toilet has a tank. It does. You're right. I was analyzing the Torrance's their apartment bathroom recently, and you're right. It does have a tank, and it's very visible. New York Yankees 81 replies, I noticed that too. Richland Law replies, Kubrick made a point about toilet tanks in Lolita. Ooh, okay. Since he was from Europe, he wouldn't mind the old plumbing. This is interesting. Listen, first I went through the HVAC system at the Overlook Hotel. And the radiators, the vents, the whole thing. Now I gotta look at the toilets. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, wait a minute. No, Need to Know brought this up in Richland Law. And this is another interesting discussion. What's up with the tankless toilets? I'm not a plumber, but I would imagine that if a toilet doesn't have a tank, if like the tank is behind the wall for whatever reason, like that would make it much more difficult to fix, right? I mean, if there's an issue, you gotta bust up the wall to get to the thing. I don't know. Oh God, I gotta think about this one. I'm gonna have to do some research, you guys. Need to Know replies to Richland Law. What point does he make about them in Lolita? Yeah, I'm wondering that too. Richland Law. Oh, I need to watch that movie again and pay a little more attention. But the thing about Lolita, it's Stanley makes I don't know what he does with that movie, but it makes it really hard for you to like focus on stuff. Maybe it's because it's in black and white, And in like with a color movie, you notice little details easier. But there's like the movie is like a whole fog. A whole fog. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, I want to know too, Rishlan-Law. Now I need to look back at their bathroom in Boulder and their apartment in the like right? That's what we need to do. Need to know. Now that you mention it, I notice that people face horrible situations and realizations every time they are in bathrooms in this movie. Need to know. You got something there. It's not just The Shining. It's also Full Metal Jacket. Remember? Remember what happens in Full Metal Jacket in the bathroom? I won't say it. I think if any of you have watched that movie, you know what happens. I just showed that movie to a group of people. Finished it today. Felt gutted. You just feel gutted after the end of Full Metal Jacket, and they're walking back with the Mickey Mouse song and all the stuff. But yeah, some interesting stuff happens in the bathroom, which they call the head in the military. And there's no privacy. There's no partitions. You just, you could just see people like pooping right before your very eyes. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my God. But yeah, you see, this is why I do these videos. You guys deserve credit for wonderful ideas like this. Now that you mention it, I notice that people face horrible situations and realizations every time they are in bathrooms in this movie. Lolita too. There's a scene with Humbert in the bathtub, and people just bust into the house to try and comfort him after Charlotte's death. Oh Lord, see, there goes another rabbit hole. Lord, gotta get out the pickaxe and the shovel and maybe some explosives. Who knows? We're gonna find this shit. Oh my God! Thank you, both of you, so much. Need to know, Richland Law, and you too, New York Yankees 81. I love this. Ooh, now I gotta think about toilets and bathtubs. Okay, all right. Moving on. David Jared. Which video do you discuss the tagging of the chandeliers? Okay, and I put the link. I hope you had a chance to take a look, David Jared. So, let me know. Dave Gentry. Hello again, Dave. I would say that Danny's reaction to seeing the twins in the hallway is also an iconic moment. Yes, you are right. You are right. To this day, I still swallow hard seeing his fearful reaction upon rounding the corner on his trike. Now, Miss Sam, I commented in another thread about something I recently noticed for the first time while rewatching The Shining during this most recent Mercury prescription. I think RX means prescription. During this most recent Mercury RX. Okay, my mind seems to function better during... Oh, Mercury retrograde! Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah. Mine does not, Dave. I don't know. Retrogrades just don't do good for me. I don't know why. But my mind seems to function better during retrograde since I have it as a natal placement in my chart. Oh, well, that should explain it. Okay, but since you are back on The Shining, I thought I'd bring it up now. If you have already covered this, my apologies. I've not watched every single one of your Shining videos, but in case you haven't noticed before, I want to tell you and others what I found in a very peculiar 15 seconds from the 28-minute and 25-second mark to the 28-minute 40-second mark. Jack, Wendy, Danny, Halloran, Ullman, and Watson are standing in the hallway together. Jack, Wendy, Danny, Halloran, Ullman, and Watson are standing in the hallway together. Ullman wants to borrow Jack and Wendy for a second and leave Danny with Halloran, and Halloran, of course, offers ice cream to Danny. Okay. Right. Right when they get out of the pantry, the walk-in pantry, the dry goods room. I think, yeah, that's what you're talking about, Dave. I think that's what you're talking about. Well, at the very moment that it is apparent that Danny and Halloran are going to be left alone together, Look at Bill Watson's face. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm gonna have to take a look again. Watson is like, we don't really pay much attention to him, but maybe we should. Watson's face actually contorts a bit, and he seems to bite his lips, swing his jaw. Watson doesn't like this suggestion at all, and at the very same time, Ullman leans forward and puts his thumb to the side of his nose to Danny as if to say, shush, this will be a secret. I've watched it and rewatched this 15 seconds a couple dozen times now. It almost seems as if Ullman is also looking directly at the camera, the audience too, as if to say, this is our secret. That is universally what the thumb to the side of the nose means, at least in Western culture. Yeah, I know about that, especially British people. This whole interchange between Halloran, Ullman, Danny, and Watson is just incredible to me, and I could write an essay as to what all the possibility means. Just wanted to throw that out there to you and your audience. Again, if you've brought this up before, my apologies, but if not, this is certainly something for everyone to think about. It sure is, Dave. Thanks for another video, Miss Sam. Peace out. Thank you, Dave. Yeah. That is an interesting 15 seconds. I don't know what it means, but you're right. The finger to the nose gesture, that is like, an inside kind of, either an inside joke or just inside knowledge. That's the meaning of it. And Bill Watson has, a chronic case of stank face-itis. He's always stank-faced. He always looks like he's smelling something foul. And like he's just seconds away from just cussing you out. I don't know. Something about Bill Watson I need to take a better look at. And again, I'm going to do the video about the four amigos. Watson, Ullman, Halloran, and Durkin. That's coming up. So stay tuned for that, you guys. I got to think about that, and I have to look at that too. I got to think about that too. I'm having a couple ideas right now. But again, I'll save it for another video. Thank you, Dave. Anna Domini, nice. Thank you, Anna Domini. New York Yankees 81. There is a Shining fan film by Taylor Rhodes on YouTube. You might like it. I will try to take a look. Thank you, New York Yankees 81. Here's this thread. Think for Yourself 1972 says, I think The Shining can be interpreted best through multiple prisms: Native American genocide and Kubrick's guilt regarding his working on the Apollo 11 fake moon landing. Okay. I resonate with these the most. Obviously, there's so much more. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Think for Yourself 1972. Dave Gentry. Oh, there's two of you. There's two Dave Gentrys. Well, okay. Dave Gentry 8418 says, I tend to agree with you. I don't think its interpretation is always an either-or situation. I think Kubrick had a lot to say in each of his movies, and so the themes are multi-layered. I have no doubt that Kubrick was commenting on the nuclear program, space race, American Indian issues, the relationship between the goons and the PTB. The goons, I don't know what the PTB is, but okay. I also believe the movie is about insanity and hauntings and where those two phenomenons interlap. He also said the movie was about a kind of evil reincarnation. Now, whether you or I agree that reincarnation in the religious sense is real or not, there is no doubt that the same stupid patterns keep happening over and over again throughout history. That's true. That's very true. And I think that's what Kubrick is showing us in all his movies. I think that, yeah, that might be a very serious possibility. So, yeah, Dave Gentry 8418, thank you. Think for Yourself says yes, quite Jungian. Okay, all right. I do believe that the Native American symbolism and designs, motifs, as Ullman calls them, their presence is letting us know that this has something to do with the Native Americans, especially in that part of the United States, the Navajo and the Apache. I've already mentioned it. I'm going to have to look into it a little more. The Native Americans in that part of the United States were exploited by the Manhattan Project. Okay? That's how I feel right now. But thank you, both of you. Think for yourself and David Gentry 8418 for your comments. Tankard says, "Wow, thanks. I've actually sat down and watched while feeding one of the twins. The other twin is currently in NICU. Oh, she was born weighing 4.1 pounds and now weighs 3 somethings. Babies lose weight after birth, which is normal. They are trying to get her to 4 pounds, which could take a week or less. I'm hoping sometime next week she'll be home. And if anybody wants to know, these are identical twins, and I've been joking with it, Miss M, that maybe Stanley Kubrick is sitting in heaven and he pushed the magic twin button. I bet he did. I bet he did. You know what? That's too cute. Oh my God. You guys, I've seen pictures of the babies. They are adorable. They are little bundles of cuteness. So I'm so happy for you, Richard Tankard of Tales. He says, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work, but the advantage is both kids will have a playmate. Yeah, so darn cute. Gershom says, Mazel Tov, Mr. and Mrs. T. Yes, absolutely. Congratulations to both of you. Oh, that's why I haven't heard a lot from Richard lately. He's been busy. Okay, so I'm not going to bother him. Anyway, he says up here, again, all those scenes are iconic. I might make a similar video. Please do, Richard. I can't wait to see it. I would like to put my spin and thoughts about those scenes. This video will be a few months down the road. I understand why. Because you're busy. You just have you have diaper duty, feeding duty, all this stuff. Let Miss M soak up her views, and I have a few things I want to post about Lolita. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what you have to say about Lolita. And please, like what we talked about with regard to the toilets and the bathrooms in Lolita, I hope that, adds to whatever you're doing, whatever you're working on with regard to Lolita. Feel free to use all of this and do whatever you want with it. So thank you again, Richard. Richard says again, one thing I learned about the splitting of the atom stuff, this was all by accident. The idea was to move protons, electrons, or whatever to convert one element into another element. Yeah, like uranium into neptunium, and then neptunium into plutonium, like I've been saying over and over again. Not that I understand it, but that's what I learned from my reading. Richard says, it seems like alchemy and the turning lead into gold stuff. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. And I believe that's why we're digging in gold mines in the early 1920s, because they were looking for maybe an element that's between lead and gold. Interesting. Okay. You might have to do a video about how the splitting the atom started. I might at least just talk about the person who gets the credit for that. Which scientist. There are science videos about this, but I think they don't go into a deep enough dive about the need to make lead into gold. Huh. You said alchemy. Alchemy. That's going to be maybe a part of my July 4th, 1921 photo video. We shall see. Thank you again, Tankard. Burning Man, GC3 UK. Miss M, you're onto something with the Bureau. Reminds me of a certain couple, and also Barry Lyndon. But unlike these trad-educated Wall Street bros, I don't feel comfortable saying what Kubrick has seen, as I'm not Kubrick and I don't have the time yet to investigate what I want to investigate. If I figured out, should be easy. Okay, thank you, Burning Man. Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot to research here. There's a lot to read about. You just you gotta build your own reading list, really. But thank you again, Burning Man. April, hi April. April Peters 8620. The reason we're all obsessed with this movie, I think, is that we sense the amazing complexity of this work of art. We can see that it's filled with nonverbal communication as well as puns, wordplay, fairy tales, and mythological references and other things that we don't quite grasp yet, but might if we look deeper. I first saw The Shining on HBO, or one of those channels, as a snotty teen. I thought, well, that wasn't so scary, but then I found myself thinking about it a lot, so I had to watch it again. It's like Finnegan's Wake. The more you look, the more you're rewarded. Yeah, basically. It's, so Stanley is doing something, or he's just letting something do itself. Like he's set something in motion. And that it's just going on and on and on, and he doesn't have to do much now that he's like you said, the more you watch it, the more you're rewarded for noticing stuff. And again, the question is, did he plan all of this? I think probably or possibly, but again, there's there's like some people that I'm going to do an essay and a video about soon. Some people think that, all movies have continuity errors. No big deal. Ugh. But again, thank you, April, for your comment. I appreciate it. Next up, Understanding the Shining Part 19. Oh, there's not too many of these. Okay, cool. So let me go ahead and take my own little coffee break, because my sinuses are giving me trouble lately. I need to like, I'm getting dry. So I need to go. Yeah, I've been talking for an hour, so I need to go have a little sip of something, coffee. And then I'll be right back. So sit tight, you guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay, had my little coffee. And now we're on part 19 of my Understanding the Shining series. The comments underneath, 13, lucky number 13. Okay. And I'm going to go from bottom to top. Gershom, the diamond. Thank you, Gershom. Guillermo, the coffee. Thank you, Guillermo. Corey W9583, 785, love your shining. I guess 785 was how many subscribers I had when I made that video 10 days ago. So we are making progress. I'm at 819 now. I love your shining videos. Thank you for your time and effort. I will have to finish this one this weekend. Thank you so much, Corey. I appreciate it a lot. Here's Dave Gentry, PU9XM. The picture plaque above the bed, like most everything else in the movie, is symbolic in my humble opinion. It seems to portray an idyllic and peaceful lakeside scene. It is placed above the marital bed. In the beginning of the movie, the marital bed, or peace between Jack and Wendy, is not perfect, yet an uneasy peace is still maintained. Interesting. Later in the movie, the plaque is higher or farther away from the marital bed, symbolizing that this peace and tranquility between Jack and Wendy is now more strained. But with Danny's question while sitting atop Jack's lap, the plaque depicting peace and tranquility between Jack and Wendy becomes completely broken. Hence, the disappearance of the plaque altogether. Nice video, Miss M. Lots to think about. Ciao. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, there's something about that plaque. that little, lakeside forest scene. There's something going on there. So, gotta think about it. Donna Marie 4920 says, the colors of the door's walls are pink and gold. Wendy's favorite colors, I guess, right? Does this mean the scenes that take place in the apartment are from Wendy's perspective? Is she our unreliable narrator? I don't know at this point. I don't know who's narrating this thing at this point. Oh, I really don't. I really don't. I believe that the French-style doors you refer to as the closet are more likely to be doors leading into another impossible room because they have panes of glass or adorned with drapes, and all the other doors in the apartment that look like these ones lead into other rooms. Okay, all right, I'm going to have to check that out again. The garment bag hangs on the single door, making it much more likely that this is the closet. Okay, I'm going to have to take another look. The double doors do look slightly ajar, just like the doors of the cupboards in the hall where Danny encounters the twins. Huh. Mm. Ay, ay, ay. Lots to think about. And I will think about it. So thank you, Donna Marie. New York Yankees 81 in the movie Full Metal Jacket. Gomer Pyle, yeah, shoots himself. But later he's at the graduation. You know what, New York Yankees? I recently rewatched that movie, and he shoots himself after graduation. Okay, I don't mean to contradict you, but he does shoot himself after graduation, and like after he's, yeah, he makes it through the program, and he has like during the graduation scene where they're assigned, like Hartman is giving the guys assignments for the future. Pyle looks like, okay, yeah, something has gone terribly wrong with his mind. So, but I have my theories about all of that as well. Stay tuned for my Full Metal Jacket analysis. I'm going to get into it. But thank you, New York Yankees. Need to know says, can a window be behind a toilet because plumbing and pipes? I think so. The pipes and the plumbing just need to be in the wall. It, you know, um the window, like they could just avoid the window, you know. Also, I see this toilet has a tank, unlike the one in room 237, right? And the ones in the restroom behind the gold room, right? But what kind of attachment is that between it and the bowl? I don't know. Like I said, I already studied HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, with regard to those damned vents in the Colorado lounge. Now I gotta study plumbing. Now I gotta figure out like what all different kind of toilets there are and tanks and you know. Ooh, my God. Oh God. I don't know. I'm really gonna have to think about this one. Um because it's not an easy, none of this is easy. Oh no. No, we gotta worry about windows, whether or not they should be there, toilets, and like what kind of plumbing they're using and whether or not they have a tank. Oh, sheesh. God help me. Anyway, thank you, Need to Know. Need to Know also says, you don't think this was exciting? Not like, I found like two or three things in this particular video. Ah. And I mean, I guess it is exciting in that sense. But right now, I'm like, okay, I find something or I notice something, and I'm always thinking about it and its place and what it means in the big picture. So unfortunately, my brain works it's a little funny. So yeah, I mean, it is exciting, but I gotta figure out what's going on with the garment bag and that door. And what else did I talk about in this video? That freaking lamp on the nightstand on Wendy's side of the bed. Oh, but anyway, you don't think this was exciting, Miss M? I'm really going to have to watch this one twice because you uncovered a lot. Well, thank you, Need to Know. But I'm interested in the significance of what was revealed here. Same, me too. I want to know, why is it significant? Why, like, what is, like I said, what is its position, um, and what is its meaning like I said, in the big picture? So thank you, Need to Know. I appreciate it a lot. uh Better D9160 says, my theory is that Kubrick framed his shots like a classical artist in X-cross patterns using color and placement very specifically to control the viewer's eye. I might do a video about that, Better D, about one point perspective. That picture on the wall was probably moved because it would disrupt the flow of the pattern. Okay, maybe. I won't totally dismiss that. That's a possibility. As far as symbolism, I would say Kubrick was highly influenced by Jung, Freud, and the more pessimistic philosophers. I am pretty sure this movie is very similar to The Wizard of Oz or A Journey into a Mandala. This story is about Danny, who is kind of like the Star Child. In 2001 Space Odyssey, Danny is enlightened. Okay, all right. You know what? I'm going to keep that in mind because I haven't really focused very much on Danny this whole time that I've been doing these videos, film analysis, understanding videos, coffee breaks, whatever. I'm going to start paying a little more attention to Danny because he's there for a reason, you know, and his presence means something, and his perspective means something. Are we being told a story from his perspective? Or Danny seems to be the heroic one. At the end, he's the one who lures Jack into the maze. Uh, so, yeah, I think you might be right about Danny. Danny is enlightened. He's a child, so he's innocent. Um, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, who he represents. Again, if I'm right about the Manhattan Project thing, it doesn't stop with the Manhattan Project either. Like, this continues on into stuff like theoretical physics. So that's a subject I know nothing about, but I'm going to have to learn quickly, or as much as I can, or as much as I need to learn in order to apply it to my analysis of this movie and Danny's role. Like, what does he represent? Is he the Star Child? Possibly. Um, or does he represent somebody from the Manhattan Project? If he does, who? Who? I need to figure it out. I haven't yet. I haven't figured it out. Anyway, never noticed the changes in the bedroom. Well, there they are, Anno. Anno Domini says never noticed the changes in the bed. There. Oh, and you know what, Anno? What I talked about in this understanding the Shining part 19. The lamp, the door, the garment bag, and the plaque above the bed, the forest scene above the bed. That's just the beginning. That is just the tip of the iceberg, as they say. You know? Well, there's more, Anno. There's more. Um, this room is important. Because this room is where, like, something big happens later in the movie. So I have to figure it out. Yeah, so just stay tuned, Anno. There's more. There's more. Stephen. Hello, Stephen. Stephen 1853. The music and sound design in this scene is extremely important. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's a weird thing. It's like, oof. It's almost like they're in a soundproof room. It would be an interesting experiment to play the scene without the music and see if it seems just as sinister. That's an idea. I'll go off topic for a laugh. The president in Dr. Strangelove is named Merkin Muffley. Was Stanley sticking it to the man? LOL. Laughing face. Check out the definition of Merkin. I know the definition of Merkin. Oh, good God. You know what? Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Was he sticking it to the man? Possibly. Possibly. Stanley in his movies he does deal with sexuality, but it's not it's not like to distract you. Usually, not usually, but a lot of times when you see depictions of sexual things, in popular media, its aim seems to, at least to me, it seems to be like to distract you. With Stanley, no. Even with something explicit like the scenes in Eyes Wide Shut, with all the nudity and everything, he doesn't want you to stop there. He doesn't even want you to like be concerned about the nudity or the sex or whatever. That is symbolic of something else. And if you stop there and you say, oh, okay, naked people, doing it, having sex, oh, that's sexy. No, 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 no. Um, he's using that as a symbol for something else, for a symbol for something else that might be sinister, might not be, or he's talking about these elites, these power brokers and everything, and how they use that to keep us distracted, us ordinary people. I got to think about it. I'm working on it. Eventually I'll get to it. But thank you. Thank you, Stephen, for the comment. Here is Tankard of Tales. The bathroom window makes no sense. The toilet tank is odd looking. The style is oldish with a short neck. Yeah. Very odd is the odd items on the tank. One is probably a flush lever. Not sure about the others. Since on the Wendy theory train, I came to believe Wendy is sitting on the bed in her in her Jack personality, and Danny is visiting Wendy in the hospital/asylum. Ooh. Now, what Tankard Richard just said here, it might sound a little far out, but he has a point. Because later in the movie, Wendy is wearing that exact same bathrobe that Jack is wearing in the scene that I deal with in part 19, where Jack and Danny have their talk in the apartment when he goes to get his fire engine. Oof. I don't know, Richard. All that 7-Up. All that 7-Up. I just don't know. I just don't know. Something is up. And Need to Know replies, have mercy. Yes, that is an interesting thought. You and Miss M made me feel that the original ending was an asylum too. It might be. It might be. Because Danny, if anyone, should have been treated in a hospital because he was running and hiding in freezing temperatures. Right. Like, how did he not get, like, what is it called? Hypothermia in that maze. I mean, if that much snow, that cold, the maze is frozen. Jack very quickly, succumbs to the freezing temperatures. But Danny, nah, he's good. Like, I don't know about that. You saw how Halloran was dressed when he was riding up there in the snowcat. He had that big heavy coat on and a scarf and a hat and all the stuff. Like, and Jack and Danny went out there in just regular clothes. They should be frozen solid. I mean, Jack does freeze, but Danny doesn't. He gets in the maze, he gets out of the maze, and then escapes with his mother and the snowcat that Halloran left behind. Oh God. Yeah, Wendy was just walking through the hotel, and Jack didn't lay a hand on her. Something is like. I'm considering both like Tankard and Need to Know's comments. Something is up with the Jack character. Again, I don't know if you guys watch Basketball Wives, but he's maybe what Evelyn Lozada would call like a non-motherfucking factor. And if he represents J. Robert Oppenheimer, oh my God. Oh my God. Oof. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I don't know. I have to think about it. I really do, because these are not easy questions to answer. Because like you have to go through a process when you think about any one of these things. With regard to the maze, Jack freezing in it, the Wendy theory stuff, Is Wendy really, when we see Jack, are we really seeing Wendy? Oh my God. That's a lot. But it's given me a lot. Like your guys' comments have given me plenty to think about. So thank you all. Thank you, Tankred. Thank you, Need to Know. Let me move on to the next video. What's on TV in The Shining? 29 comments, Lord. Okay, hold up. Let me get to the bottom of this first. Oh my God. This is a lot. New York Yankees 81 says, I'm glad you are doing The Shining. Yes. You know what? Thank you, New York Yankees. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Guillermo Ibanez Gomez 3031 says, congratulations on 800 subscribers. Thank you, Guillermo. Now this here, oh my. This thread is started by Andrew Meadwell. I think you need to own this now and do a The Shining is about the Manhattan Project video. It will go viral and your channel will take off. Forget baking. Well, I tried and it didn't necessarily go viral, but it did get, a good number of views. We shall see. I read an article recently that said once you get monetized, once you get to 1,000 subscribers, not an article, but like a Reddit thing that said once people get to 1,000 subscribers, like then basically the YouTube algorithm starts pushing your channel more after you get monetized. We shall see. We shall see. Baking. When's the last time I baked? Last week I made cherry strudel. But anyway, gosh, if I wanted to make money, I would just open a baking business. My goodness. Tankard of Tales says, good idea. Then Miss Sem would be. I doubt it. They're both like, I'm not gonna say who, but you see what it says here. They both got their own little thing that they're doing. Gives her more justification to hit back. I doubt they will. Even when I do the eyebrow essay and or video, they're not gonna react. They're not. But we'll see. We'll see, Tancred. Richard. I don't know. We'll see. Andrew Midwa says, I live by Rob Ager. I live by Rob Ager, so don't worry about that. I'll sort him out. Besides, if you've seen his latest video, he looks like he's on the verge of giving up YouTube and concentrating on his straight-to-DVD arm. And there's a laughy face emoji. My stars. Ooh. Well, he had a good run. Years and years and years of all those videos and all of his myriad websites and what have you. Oof. I have my suspicions. Not going to say a damn thing out loud, but when shit just don't make no sense. I mean, for me, y'all know me. When something doesn't make sense, I refuse to put it down. But until I figure it out, I think that issue is pretty easy to figure out. I'm not gonna say a word, but Tancred replies to Andrew Midwa. I saw his video. The problem is most reviewers use clips of the movie. What they seem to forget is that reviewers like Ebert were given the clips from the studio so they could play it. That's true. They were authorized. What Rob Ager needs to do is not show clips, but screenshots. Kind of like me and Richard are doing. It just makes sense. They still get you. I've still, not copyright strikes, but the other thing. Copyright, like notices or whatever. Ugh. My God. But, even with screenshots, they're being jerks. But yeah, he can't show screenshot. But most people don't want to see screenshots. They want to see the clips. So he gets copyright issues. It's not just that. It's not just that. I mean, you can use screenshots and, my video making capabilities are nil. Like nothing. This is why I do this way. Like, even if I did know how to make a video and edit it and whatever, I would still prefer this way because this is I believe, a more kind of educational format where you're not concentrating on the pictures moving before your eyes on the screen. No, you're listening to what I'm saying, you know. And again, I take you through my thought process, right? So Richard concludes, he says, this is why I play screenshots and so does Miss M. Right. We don't need to show the clips. No, because we're talking about pretty deep stuff. We're talking about pretty deep stuff. And showing a clip of the movie, you could watch the movie on your own. You could go find a copy, buy a copy, whatever, and watch it on your own. You don't need me to show you like a little 5-second clip of Wendy swinging her bat in the Colorado Lounge or anything similar to that. No, I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm not talking about no, I'm talking about what is Kubrick trying to say and how is he trying to say it? Possibly through disguised symbolism. I'm doing a formal analysis in my understanding videos, and my film analysis it regards like all of the things that are possibly connected to the images, items, objects, things, colors, lighting, whatever that Stanley uses in the movie and what they might mean. Okay, like this is not, me and Richard, this is not an ordinary film analysis. Oh no. Oh no, we're trying to uncover the mysteries of the universe. Okay? And Ramidwa replies to Richard, very insightful answer. I love this. I love when people exchange ideas like this. This is awesome. I replied, both you and Tancred have a point. I've been kind of sheepish about saying it with my full conviction about the Manhattan Project, but it's looking more and more like I'm on the right track. Thanks to your guys' encouragement, I'll be making a video in this upcoming week officially announcing it and dealing with whatever flack I might get. So far, not so much. It's becoming undeniable at this point, in my opinion. I just keep finding more confirmations, and they're getting harder to ignore. I have to deal with eyebrow too. Should be fun. Nerd face and coffee cup. P.S. I haven't watched any Ager stuff in years, so I'll just take your word for it that he's spinning out of control. My question is why he thought he could use clips and get away with it. Very peculiar. Thinking face. Anyway, yeah, I don't understand like what possessed him, especially with copyright issues. That again. No, no, Miss M, don't say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Mm-mm. 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 No. 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 Mm-mm. No. Not. Let me not be messy. But Andromedwa replies to me, well done, it'll be fantastic. I honestly think it's up there with any other theory that's been proposed, while also being far less controversial. Yeah, I'm not talking about the moon landing. I will mention the moon, because it does play a part. There's a reason Danny's wearing the Apollo 11 sweater, but it's not for the reason that I think not for the reason that everybody else says it is. I don't think. The moon, y'all, the Apollo projects and the space program in general, are connected to the Manhattan Project. Yes. Yes. I mean, I'm I'm still in the early stage of researching this, but I think a lot of the names overlap for both of them. Okay? So if you're a physicist, if you're a chemist and you're, top tier physicist or chemist, chances are if you were alive during that time, from 1940 to 1960, 70, whatever, there's a good chance you worked on both projects. I mean, doesn't that make sense? But yeah, I'll continue. Far less controversial. Everyone knows the man overtly and predominantly made anti-war protest films. You know what, Andrew Meadwa? That's obvious to you and me, but I don't. You say everyone knows. I don't think everyone knows. I think people are, they put their heads in the sand regarding that. It's obvious to us here and now, but a lot of analysts seem to be very obsessed with what I was talking about a little while ago, sex. and the way Kubrick portrays that matter in his films. I'm not going to name names, but you know, and they kind of can't get past that. They think that he's doing some like anamorphous, just shapeless, uh, uh, um, uh, disembodied kind of thing with his film. No, he's serious. He is serious. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick was doing serious business when he was making his films. So I don't think he's just exploring a topic or philosophizing. No, I absolutely don't believe that. He was trying to solve a problem and or educate his audience in a way where, in order for the audience to be educated, first they have to realize that they're watching an education or educational material. Most don't ever get to that point. Okay, so that's the first hurdle. And then, okay, you're educating me, Stanley. Okay, how? Why? What are you doing? How are you educating me? It's not easy. But it's you also anti-war protest that something. He's trying to say something that has to do with war, because it is such a common topic in art of whatever kind of art. Doesn't matter if it's paintings, sculptures, photographs, films, uh, art from the ancient world, you name it, architecture. It's been such a frequent subject of artwork since day one. And when I say day one, I mean I'm going back to prehistory when I say since day one. Stanley is aware of this. Something about war. Something about war. Anyway, you also say it's so topical too with Oppenheimer and everything that's going on geopolitically. Get the title and thumbnail right and it'll be a hit. You know what? Again, I did it. I'm happy with this video. I'm happy with this video. I think I did all right. What is this? No. It's maybe just a matter of time. Maybe I'm talking about a subject matter or material that possibly I maybe I'm not saying what I'm doing is dangerous, but it's something that maybe the powers that be don't want discussed. And maybe that's another reason why Stanley had to make his films the way he made them. Okay? He couldn't talk openly, especially at the time in the late 70s or in the 60s when he was making Strangelove and Lolita and all of that. He couldn't talk openly about the Manhattan Project. In 1964, Oppenheimer was still alive. And a lot of these other guys were still alive. There's something he can't say. And even if I'm right, and he said all the stuff that I think he's saying, there's still something he can't say. What might that be? I'm not sure. So there's that. Thank you, Andromedwa. Need to know replies. This is the real room 237. They were close. You have to give it to them. But they thought moon landing and native people genocide. Again, those are in there. Both of those events, Apollo 11 and either the genocide or just simply the terrible exploitation of Native American people, is in The Shining. But it's part of, or maybe, how should I say that, ancillary to the Manhattan Project thing. I think that's the main thing, and the moon landing and whatever it means with regard to what these big brains were working on, and the native people genocide. That's there, but he's using it as an example of, again, pointing you to the bigger thing. But this analysis is like taking where they left off and going much further with it. Thank you, Need to Know. I appreciate that. So much. As for Rob Ager, I think they let him get away with it before, so he didn't think it would be a problem. Mm-hmm. Need to know? Let me ask you a question. Need to know. Who is they? I mean, might seem obvious. They is YouTube, right? Okay. Maybe they is somebody else. I don't know. I can't say because I have no insight of any kind. But, who is they? They let him get away with it, obviously. Yeah, you're right. Need to know. But who is they? Just like our people in Denver. Like, who are our people in Denver? Oh, I'm having a little too much fun. But you see what I mean, though? Need to know. Tell me, who do you think they is? Hmm? And then will that and he fallen out of favor with they? I don't know. I just don't know. But thank you guys. Tankard, Andromedwa, need to know. Thank you so much for your comments. I love them. Uh Gershom, oh, he's celebrating my 800 plus subscribe. Thank you, Gershom. Uh Onward, upward and onward to 1,000. Let's do it. Gershom, it's okay. He saw it on television. He sure did. And that's what I put in the reply. He sure did. He saw it all on television. The cannibalism, everything. Everything. And we still need to figure out what that cannibalism is about. Why is Wendy talking about cannibalism? Oof, and the Donner Party. Oh, I need to research the Donner Party. There you go. See how, like, I told y'all, there are not enough hours in a day. First, I got to research the Manhattan Project, and I got to research Albert Einstein and Richard Feynman now, and who's the other one? Um, the one that the main character from Breaking Bad, he calls himself Heisenberg. I need to research Heisenberg. Yep, Heisenberg, yo. If you want to do, some reading, go ahead. Look up Heisenberg, see what you find. Um, oh yes. Oh yes, he saw it on television. And the thing is, so did all of us. We all saw it on television, but we didn't know what we were looking at. We didn't know what we were seeing. Now we're starting to. We're starting to. So thank you, Gershom. Always appreciate it. Stevem, 1853. Okay, let's see what you got to say. What makes me angry about the eyebrow video is the entire premise he seems to be working from. Oh, I hear you. I sure do, Stephen. I would like to see if anyone else agrees with me about this, but his premise seems to be every movie has continuity errors. They have no meaning in other movies, ergo, they have no meaning in The Shining. He also seems to denigrate any analysis that, in his opinion, weakens the impact of the story as he sees it. Stephen, you're onto something. But I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did look at the transcript. He repeats himself a lot. Um, there is no logic. There is no argument in that video. He has the audacity. Oh, you know what? Let me save it for the when I make a video about it. But what you say here about the continuity errors, he contradicts himself tremendously when he talks about those. This is not somebody who's trying to disprove the Wendy theory. This eyebrow person. No. He's there for a reason, but that's not it. That's not he's not he might not, I mean, I can't read this person's mind, but maybe he doesn't even really care one scrap about the Wendy theory. It's about something else. And again, I'll make a video about it, so stay tuned for that, Stephen. I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say. And Richard, thank you for the suggestion in the DM today. I think that's how I'm going to do the video. Richard suggested to me how I should start out the eyebrow video. So I think that's how I'm going to do it. Stephen, in this comment, you say, I voted for Ullman because I thought that since he had more screen time than the other choices except Halloran, you would have more information to analyze. You know what? um, it might or might not be a matter of screen time, but there's a lot to analyze. Well, Watson, Durkin, you'll be surprised at what I found. Halloran, you'll be surprised at what I found. Ullman, I need to like check the Stephen King source material to see whether or not he was named Stuart Ullman in the book as well as the movie. But you know that I'll get to that when I get to the Four Amigos video. But you voted for a lot has been said about Halloran already. Yes, but there's more. There's more. Also his Ullman's connections with some very shady people, which is blatantly expressed in the source material, interests me. Yeah. Yeah. Ullman knows a lot more than than we would ever have a chance to see in the movie. Yeah. But like the finger to the nose thing, Stanley puts little things in there that tell us a little bit more about Ullman, right? And as you say, I've mentioned it before, but Ullman's phrase "our people in Denver," which I just reused, but for something else, strikes me as odd. Yeah, that is odd because we never find out who those people are. Not in the movie. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but why would the Overlook or the company that manages it have people in Denver responsible for handling potential new hires? Very good question. Very good question. Is the Overlook Hotel part of some kind of network of hotels that's managed by one bigger entity? Possibly. I don't know. Wouldn't they just go to an employment agency? Right. That makes sense, Stephen. It does. If your theory from an earlier video, part 3, are there some hoes at the Overlook Hotel, then the Overlook's owners' managers might not go through the usual channels to find potential employees. What do you think, Miss M? Am I chasing its shadows? No, you are not. You are not chasing its shadows. Because I think, was it me and Richard, Tankard of Tales, who discussed it already? In the book, which I haven't read, but I looked at, or I think maybe Richard, you read it, or somebody who read it said this. Basically, like, that's how Jack meets the people in Denver, because he's an alcoholic and he drinks with them. And basically, it is confirmed in the novel. I didn't know this when I made my Are There Some Hoes at the Overlook Hotel video. I didn't know, but basically I was right about that. There are some hoes at the Overlook Hotel. It basically a brothel. At least that's one function that it serves. You know, a hotel can be a brothel without officially being a brothel. All right, like a Marriott or a Best Western or a Holiday Inn, or even like those little boutique hotels or a Hilton or whatever. They can be unofficially brothels, or like it can just be known to people who travel a lot and frequent hotels. You know, because hotels are not just to sleep in if you're traveling. They also have ballrooms. They have restaurants. Some of them have very famous restaurants inside the hotel. Clubs, or it could be a place where performances are held or whatever. So the hotel is never just a hotel. There's always more, like the Algonquin, the famous or infamous Algonquin from the 1920s in New York. I think it's still there, but it's not the same. as when, like Groucho Marx and Dorothy Parker and those people hung out there. But a hotel can be officially just a hotel, whether it's a low level hotel like a Motel 6 or a something higher up like a really expensive bougie um, hotel, that caters to a certain class of clientele or whatever. But it can be unofficially a brothel. Absolutely. Or it can be, a place where there's all kinds of criminal activity, not just um, human trafficking. My God. But yeah, so basically that's confirmed in the novel, um, that the Overlook is involved in some of that stuff, right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You are not chasing shadows. No, you are not chasing shadows, Stephen. Um, they don't go through the usual channels because, geez, who knows what kind of laws they're breaking? Who knows how they're paying Jack? Are they paying him, like, does he have, did he give any tax information, or are they just gonna give him a big wad of cash at the end of the fight? Or, if he had made it through, would they have just paid him in cash? Who the hell knows? But thank you. No, these are good questions, Stephen. These are very good questions. Um, and like you said, the Ullman connection with some very shady people, which is blatantly expressed in the source material. There you go. These are not just ordinary business people. No, absolutely not. Or actually, I say ordinary business people. Like, whenever you analyze, I mean, maybe it's just me, but whenever you look into any organization or any group of people, whether it's a business or a company, or even just a club that's allegedly for the purpose of having fun and getting together and exchanging ideas, not very far away from that, you will find some funny business. Or maybe that's just me and my little suspicious mind. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for the comment, Stephen. You're right. No, you're not chasing shadows. You are not. Just like me, I keep questioning my sanity throughout this whole process. I'm tired of questioning my own sanity, but I'm not going to stop doing it because I need to do that in order to do a good job. You know what I mean? But anyway, Tankard of Tales says, looks like you're getting closer to the Manhattan Project. Yep. And I reply, yep. As Fred Mertz says on I Love Lucy, if it was a snake, it would have bit me. All this time, never even considered it until about a month ago, you guys. Corey W9583 says 805, thank you. Thank you. April Peters, 8620. I really like your Manhattan Project idea. Keep going. I will. I sure will. I'd like to also cast my vote for a video on Halloran. He's really interesting. His head shines like a light bulb. It sure does. The name Halloran is also interesting. There is Hal in there and Halo. And in the periodic table, there are a group of elements called halogens, which might be something to look into for your video unless Larry wins. No, I'm going to make a video about all of them. I just wanted to know, like, should I make a video focusing on one character specifically and then like do a group video for the other three? And now I forgot about the Doctor Woman. My God. No, I'm going to keep going. For sure, I'm going to keep going. Thank you, April. And then there's this one up here. Again, April. Also, Danny's watching cartoons reminds me of the way these shows seem to be written, with several ages of viewers in mind. That's true. Like when you're a kid, you laugh at the obvious jokes, but the more mature jokes, puns, word plays, nods, and winks fly right over your head. Yup. You don't notice them until rewatching years later. You have the cultural knowledge to appreciate them, which lets you enjoy the program on a whole new level. Maybe that's the best way to age a program or a movie, like fine wine or a perfume gives its nuances and subtleties and subtitles. Sorry for the rambling. I do that. No, I love it, April. Thank you. I enjoy all the idea. You're right. There's layers to this. There's strata to this. Um, and that's part of what makes it so difficult. But that's also part of what makes it so rewarding when you discover something and you're like, wow, how did I not notice it before? Well, because first you had to clear the first layer of dirt or yes, sediment or whatever to get to the next layer. That's why you didn't notice it before. It wasn't visible because you got to get through that first layer first. Um, so there's that. Another comment from April: Watson might be cool to delve into as well. His name seems like another electrical reference. David Lynch likes to use that symbolism of electricity, blue flashes, sparks, blue versus red flames, uh, fiery hot blue versus cold metallic red. I read the book a long time ago, but I remember Watson was connected to the boiler room and the hotel exploded into flames, whereas in the film, Jack freezes in the maze. Compare, contrast. Stanley seems to be into that. Again, this is you bring up an interesting point, April, because that's one of the reasons Stephen King was so pissed because Stanley just took his book and totally rearranged everything, cut huge parts of it out, and did, like you said, instead of Jack burning, he freezes, and the whole thing. And instead of the maze, it's the boiler room. And, first of all, like there isn't even a maze, I don't think, in the novel. And the maze isn't even visible from the overhead shot of the hotel in the first part of the movie. I'm working on the maze. I'm working on a lot of things. It's hard to keep track of it. And my problem is I don't keep notes. No, I just kind of, I don't know how to even say this. Um, I let, again, my intuition guide me. And I figure there's no use for me to keep notes because if I'm right and this is what's going on, then the Manhattan Project will be the thing that holds everything together. And as long as I keep researching that, I'll keep finding all this other stuff about mazes and freezing and Watson and all this stuff that you talked about, like the symbolism and what have you. It's there. It's there. If you had asked me 6 months ago, or maybe not 6 months ago, but like 3 months ago, or whenever I first encountered or started thinking about Eraserhead, or even when I, first started working on this channel and working on my Shining videos, if you had told me about a year ago, let's say, that radiators equal radiation, and that in turn equals radioactive material, I would have laughed at you. I would have thought that you had lost your mind if somebody, you or anybody had said that to me a year ago. But here we are. So you never know. You never know where the quote unquote evidence is going to take you. No clue. Just keep on plugging. And again, if it's all related, then I don't need to keep notes. I just need to keep digging. But anyway, thank you so much for your comments, April. I do appreciate them so much. Anno, hello, Anno. Anno Domini 1991 says, because of the gatekeepers, the Wendy theory is important. Yes. Yes, exactly. I have a suspicion that someday it will no longer be available, so I have saved that video. That's interesting. That's interesting. Whoever put the Wendy theory out, they knew what they were doing. They knew that it would go viral, so to speak. So, mission accomplished. And it pissed a lot of people off. There you go again. Another mission accomplished. So, yeah, need to know says great idea. That is a great idea. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but that video, at least it seems to me, maybe you all know how to look better or you know what to look for. But the Wendy Theory video is not monetized. I don't I mean, I could be wrong about that, but it seems to me the Wendy Theory video and like the whole channel itself, the Rob Navarro channel, it doesn't seem to be monetized. It could be. Have you noticed? I'm going to talk about this in my eyebrow video, but the video itself has like over a million views, but the channel only has like about a little more than 7,000 subscribers. And those other videos, I don't think they've gotten nearly as many views. Like not even close to as many views as the Wendy Theory video. And none of it seems monetized. I'm just saying, I don't know what it means, but that's an observation. So thank you, Anno. Thank you, Need to Know. Denver Risley says, I've lived in coyote country all my life and never saw as many coyotes as I did in a week in Beechwood Canyon. They'll trot down the road right alongside you if you stroll over to the sign at night for the awesome view of the city lights. Yeah, coyotes are becoming more and more prominent. They're, again, I'm not seeing a lot of cats around like I used to. I'm just saying. It's because I talk about the coyote and the roadrunner in this video. That's why he's saying that. Thank you, Denver. Anna Domini says, now I remember on closing day when Susie shows up with Danny in the gold room, Jack says, Danny, did you get tired of bombing the universe? Yeah. When you're watching the video, I'm sorry, the movie. When you're watching the movie, you're not paying a whole lot of attention to statements like that. Dan, did you get tired of bombing the universe? Like, but when you think about it for a second, like Dan Anno Domini is doing here, like, isn't that just a weird thing to say to anybody, even even a little boy? Did you get tired of bombing the universe? What? I don't know. I just don't know. There's been clues the whole time. It's just that I either I've been oblivious to something unlocked it for me. And I can't even remember what that was. I'm going to have to go watch my own video to find out, like, what was it that set me down this path? Maybe the Oppenheimer movie and like all the hullabaloo about the Oppenheimer movie and whatever. And I think maybe it just hit me. I don't know anymore. I'm going to have to think about, like, how did I get here? I don't know how I got here. I know something like turned me in that direction, but I can't remember exactly what. Oh, my God. Anyway, but thank you, Anno. Anno also says, no surprise that Stanley didn't like Disney. That's what I read. He said that Bambi was just too much for small children. He's right. And by the way, it's 2023, and I think today or yesterday was the anniversary of the beginning of Disney with Walt Disney and his brother Roy. Precisely in October of 1923 is when all the madness began. So make of that what you will. And Anno also says, oh, never noticed that picture in Eraserhead. Nice. I didn't notice it either. I was poking around and I said, wait a minute. And I saw somebody else, like I showed you the Reddit thing, and somebody zoomed in on it and I said, oh shit, that's a mushroom cloud. So either that's the Trinity test or it's Operation Ivy. Um, from like the what was it called? The Bikini Atoll Islands or something like that. I don't know. But there's a lot going on. Then Richland Loss, thank you, Anno, for your comments. I appreciate them so much. Richland Loss says, Carson City, 1952. While they do the heist, they offer you champagne and a picnic lunch. Sounds just like the United States Treasury. Right. I don't know what's going on. I'm not a chemist. I'm not a physicist. I'm not an economics person. I'm an arts and humanities person. That's what I enjoy. That's where I can really kind of flex my muscles, so to speak. But the story, like Richland Law is pointing out in the Carson City movie, like they rob you in the movie. The train robbers rob the people. They take their gold, and the people who are being stolen from don't mind because they're given food and drink. What? Does that represent the common, like, person, the common citizen? I don't know. But yeah, sounds like just like the United States Church. Now they're not even letting us have food. I mean, they're letting us have food, but it's getting extremely expensive. For all my friends on this channel, anybody who's watching or listening from other countries, I don't know what it's like over there. In the United States, the food is getting extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. It's kind of ridiculous. And I'm in Los Angeles. I think maybe you're in LA too, Richland Law. Like, oh yeah, just go to Vaughn's. Forget Gelson's, forget Erewhon, forget Bristol Farms, forget Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, or any of those, like, nice places to shop. No, just go to degular, schmegular old Vaughn's or Ralph's or whatever. Uh-uh. I'm gonna start shopping at the carniceria. Or like they got good stuff there. Don't, if you're laughing, okay, cool. But like they got great stuff at the Mexican grocery stores. Okay? They really. I think I might go there tomorrow. I got to get some low carb tortillas. I got Oh, I know Richard is doing low carb. I just ordered low carb ramen, the IMMI off of Amazon, and I haven't tasted it yet. It just got here tonight, so I'm gonna taste it. I will let you know if if it's any good. So I'll stay tuned for that. But yeah, the United States Treasury. I've watched movie or videos about it. Still don't understand it. Like, what's going on? Is Ooh, wait a minute. Richland Law. Ooh, wait a minute. Who funded the Manhattan Project? Where'd they get all that money? Especially during wartime. This happened during the World War II. And like the United States was actively fighting and sending soldiers to all different parts of Europe and Japan and what. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Where'd all that money come from? The Manhattan Project wasn't cheap. Stanley. He did it again. Okay. Need to know. This is the last comment. The ending of the video where you tie it all together is the key with the Trinity test, right? It helps people know we're not just reaching here. Well done. Thank you, Need to Know. I felt a need to do that because, again, this sounds so nonsensical. If I don't tie it together with like the mushroom cloud and Eraserhead, Eraserhead and The Shining kind of Eraserhead was made before The Shining, but I think, I do believe that Stanley was inspired by David Lynch by Eraserhead, but I think in the first place, Eraserhead and David Lynch was inspired by Stanley. I'm sure he has other film directors that he reveres, but Stanley's a big one. He said David Lynch has gone on record to say that his favorite Kubrick movie is Lolita. To me, that means a lot. When somebody like David Lynch says, out of all the Stanley Kubrick movies, all 13 of them, his favorite is Lolita, that means something. That absolutely means something. Um, and you guys, I'm gonna have to revisit Lolita. I'm gonna have to revisit Twin Peaks in the context of Lolita. I've been noticing some things. Okay. Um, well, there's a lot. I got a lot of work to do. But you guys, I've been talking for over 2 hours. I hope you enjoyed the coffee. I had two more videos that I wanted to do, Women of the Shining, and The Shining is really about the Manhattan Project, but I'll save those for another viewer mail. I can't in good conscience keep you for more than 2 hours. Well, even though I've already done it, it's 2 hours and 5 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the cafecito. Okay, I really do. And I've got more to say. I've got a lot more to say. It's just a matter of like the convergence of my attention and whatever at any given time. Like I said, I'm going to be working on the 1921 photo video, the Four Amigos video. I really want to get back into Twin Peaks, and Lolita and David Lynch and the whole thing. And Full Metal Jacket. And oh my God, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be busy, especially if I research some of the stuff that you guys told me in the comments of these videos. So again, I appreciate you all. I appreciate all of your contributions, all of your comments. I love them. I love your comments. It just brings a smile to my face knowing that you guys are involved, you're thinking, because you watched my video. Or maybe you were already thinking, but you found my video and it confirmed maybe a lot of your suspicions, or you find in my videos, you found something that like resonates what you've already kind of been turning over in your head. That's amazing. So you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it so much. I'm gonna do my church announcements and then I'm gonna let you go. So again, thank you so much. Returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it so much. All of you, doesn't matter why you're here. If you're hate watching, that's fine too. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you know somebody who might be interested in this, and that's it. That's it, and that's that, and that's all. And until next time, you guys, until the next time, when I find yet another reason to make one of these videos, I'm going to go ahead and bid you bye-bye. So, bye-bye, everybody.